Hello Cancer, this is Victoria and I'm here with your July tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love life, your career and workspace, and we'll get you guidance from the universe on how to best utilize the energy of the months of July. At the end, I'll post some messages from your person of interest to yourself. So prepare yourself for it, and actually one thing that I would advise is for you to maybe think of something that you'd want your person to share, right? Maybe there is a question where you'd like to hear some kind of response or comment. So I've had people do that on a few occasions and they mentioned that it worked pretty well, so why not go ahead and try it for yourself. All right, with all that said, I'll start with a quick oracle message. And while I'm traveling around, I have limited amount of card decks with me, but I try to pick very special ones. And right now, one of the decks I'm traveling with is Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. So let's see what does Cancer need to know. And by the way, Cancer, happy birthday! It's your season. We're already about 1 week in, but we have so much more Cancer time to go in July. All right, and of course, this readings are for Sun, Moon, and Rising Cancer. If this is your sun sign and you're watching for a sun sign, please check out videos for other placements as well. I'm starting with Cancer and I'm going around through all the signs, and we're gonna end with Gemini this time. And if you enjoy what I'm doing, if this message resonates for you, then definitely hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe, and of course there's so much more information in the description box where you can find out what I do, what services I provide, and how to get in touch. Alrighty, so you've got the Heart Guardian, beautiful opening of heart chakra. Love and let yourself be loved. Yes, so this is kind of a variation of Lover's card in this deck, to be honest with you. And basically, Heart Guardian is reminding you that you don't need to shield yourself away from love, right? And as beautiful as it may be to give love, don't forget to receive it as well. So the channel is opening both ways. You have that opportunity, and it's important to acknowledge it and to cherish it. Let's see what we have with tarot for Cancer. So for your love life, you have Justice. This is Libra energy. You could be dealing with a Libra. You have the Hanging Man. This is Sagittarius. And you have Seven of Swords. Okay, interesting. Then for your career space, you have Eight of Wands, Nine of Coins. Are you starting a business, Cancer? Eight of Cups, sorry. The advice, Four of Cups. Ace of Coins. And the World. The World is Capricorn energy. Bottom of the deck is Three of Swords. So this could be a recent heartbreak. This could be something that happened a while back, but somehow this old sadness and pain is brought up with what is happening in the month of July. Up to you, of course, to see how it resonates for you and what context do you give it. But what I'm gonna say is, whichever pain, even if it's old pain, comes up for us, it's an opportunity for us to heal it more fully, to go deeper this time, because maybe before your psyche just wasn't ready to do it, and now it's coming in because you're ready to see it differently, to take the lessons that you're supposed to take out of it and leave it behind for good, hopefully. So this is not necessarily bad news, but it might take you a moment to understand what to do with this feelings or with this memories, whatever it is. For some of you, I'm hearing that you'll be traveling to a place that will remind you of something like that. and you may be hesitant to go in the first place, or maybe somebody talked you into it, and when they arrive, it's like, oof, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. But no, and this is your confirmation that that's exactly the main reason for going, and it's definitely a good one. So for your love life, Cancer, you have Justice, Hanged Man, and Seven of Swords. Both of these cards are about balance, about finding meaning not by acting, not even necessarily by feeling, but by being. Very interesting, right? And I don't really see much here with another person, apart maybe from the fact that Justice is Libra energy, which is usually about balancing things out with another person. It's about ironing out any kind of wrinkles, making peace with someone else, you know, finding common ground, those wonderful things. But it is used here in a wider term, so it's like you and other people. It's more like, how do you see your place? Like, how honest are you with yourself when you're with other people, if it makes sense? You know, like, how much of your communication with people, especially in trusted relationships, because this is personal space. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it is personal space, right? Like, how much of yourself do you actually show to others? What is the priority for you? To keep peace, to keep happy, jolly energy in the room, or to show up in your authentic self? This is the key question right now. And I mean, with the heart guardian over there, you know the answer. You're supposed to open up your heart. And that's scary, and that brings up the pain and makes you very vulnerable. But really, that's the only way to experience love, both directions, giving and receiving fully. Right? Otherwise, it's always gonna sound like an echo somewhere in the distance. You won't be able to hear the lyrics of that song clearly. We all can think of a band or two who's singing like that, right? In terms of your career space, you have 8 of Wands, 9 of Coins, and 8 of Cups, 8s and 9s. So it's action that leads to success. And the action in this case will require both speaking your truth and walking away from things that don't serve you. And the reason why I ask if you're starting your business, Cancer, is because I've seen this card. And 9 of Pentacles is, well, it's a singles card in general, but more than anything, it's like this independent, strong-willed creature, you know, that doesn't really need anybody to complete them, to make them happy, or in this case, since we're talking about workplace, to make them successful, right? Plus, this is Coins, this is Pentacles, right? So you're looking into, it's kind of an energy, I've had enough of this BS that's going on in the company, in the office, wherever. Maybe it was this client, and maybe this was like a comfort blanket, right? How's it called? Security blanket for a while, but now I don't need it anymore. Like, you see this new level of talent and charisma and potential in yourself, where it's like, I just need to turn it on. I just need to, you know, get somebody to help me out with X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna crush it. So I don't need to almost like beg for mercy or for support someone else, whether it's clients or partners, right? Like, I can do this myself. But it will also mean that you're gonna leave some of that comfort zone behind. That's the deal, baby. And now for the advice, we have 4 of Cups, Ace of Coins, and the World. If you have an invitation to travel somewhere, take it, say yes. Otherwise, this is the time when the old cycle where things were a little boring, a little mundane, a little too predictable, it's over. Or, you know, it's gonna be over in July. There are just little remains of it, and then something new and beautiful comes in for you. Something that will get you out of bed in the morning. Something that you'll be excited to share, whether it's with your life partner or friends and family or anybody else, right? That you'll be so excited you couldn't keep it in you. You know, you'll need to share with someone. That excitement is coming in, right? But it's important to close the doors on things that don't serve you anymore. close those cycles, to do a retrospective. I do have still a little bit of a lingo from the corporate world and specifically IT world, because that's the career that I built. And if it doesn't, whatever I'm saying doesn't make sense, you can definitely look it up and get more information. But the whole point of retrospective is that you look back at what happened, because maybe in the moment you weren't, you didn't have all the information to see it in perspective. Maybe you just didn't have time to talk about it, to look into it, right? There's always something that is a treasure that we discovered and we want to acknowledge it and keep it. Like, this worked really well, and why don't we do that more often? And just as much, there will be things that didn't go as planned, or just that generally didn't go well. And that will be an opportunity, retrospective is an opportunity to go over those and see what happened, whether we want to do things differently, or this was legit one-off thing that, you know, we cannot really impact anyway. So we can just acknowledge, maybe plan it a little differently next time, so we give it more time or more resource to risk it. But that will be it. You know, it depends, but it helps be very aware of what actually happened in the recent past, in the last cycle in this case, right? And see what you want to do with that information. Because unless you're very diligent at journaling, you're good at journaling, because that's another thing, not all people are. You know, journaling is a part of the spiritual practice, and it's not just about jotting down the events that happened, even if you're doing a detailed description. It's a lot more than that, and it's definitely a story for another day. Maybe I'll do a podcast episode on journaling best practices. But unless you're in that mode where you are very good at journaling, let's put it that way, there's a good chance that there's certain experiences that we miss at noticing, right? And that's why I'm suggesting a retrospective. Okay, message from your person to yourself. We need this deck. Message for Cancer, please, from their person. In fact, I might take this up because I have Cancer in one of my main placements, so I might do that myself in the context of a Sedona trip, for example. Just for those who don't know, I just came back from Arizona, spent 2 weeks there, and they were very eventful 2 weeks. Also, not in a way that I envisioned, but nonetheless. And there was so much happening on a daily basis. I barely had enough time to sleep, to sleep enough so I can recover and carry on. Not exhausted, but full of energy, you know? And there's definitely a lot to take in and to retrospect on. Okay, what do we have for Cancer? The Hierophant, Page of Cups, and Death. Wow. I mean, you could be dealing with a Taurus or a Scorpio. But important that also, I was just talking about this vision that you maybe have had for yourself, for your love life, right? It was a little more socializing, whether it's with your person or just generally with people. You'll get a different idea of what you want. Maybe it's just going to be a clearer, more detailed idea, but it's possible that it will be different altogether. The message from your person in this case, especially for those who have already found their person, is that, guess what? Your person is actually going through a bit of an existential crisis. And they don't want to put that pressure onto you. They don't want to make you feel like you're the reason why they're going through all these heavy feelings. Some of them might be drinking a little bit too much or going into addictions a little bit too much, right? And they don't want you to feel responsible for it, because it really isn't you. Even if the examples they give you or the stories they would tell you if they could were about you or the two of you, they still know that it's in their head, it's on their side, right? It's their attention to manage. So they're just going through a lot in their own head about, you know, how they've lived so far and what are the priorities and the rights, the wrongs, all these things. So up to you, Cancer, how much of support you want to give here. Initiate those conversations, or maybe give your person some space to figure things out for themselves. Up to you. What I can say for sure is the person doesn't even know exactly right now what to tell you in terms of like how things should be different or what do they want. It's like that part where it's very much a brainstorming phase. So they don't want to come to you and be like, oh, I'm brainstorming a new life for myself, but then have nothing more distinct to tell you, you know? So it might seem from the distance like they're keeping a secret, something's going on behind the scenes, which it kind of is, but they're keeping it a secret for a good reason. So just give it some time. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to click the like button, and of course subscribe to my channel. And until next time.